Capitalism and socialism, two of the most debated and influential economic systems in history. They've shaped societies, economies, and even global politics. But how do they work? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And most importantly, which system offers a better future? Let's dive into capitalism versus socialism, the battle of economic systems. Before we begin, let's define these systems. Capitalism is an economic system where private individuals or businesses own and control resources, production, and distribution. Decisions are guided by profit and market demand. Socialism, on the other hand, advocates for public or collective ownership of resources and production. Its goal is to distribute wealth and resources more equally across society. While both aim to organize economic activity, they differ in who controls resources and how goods and services are distributed. The roots of these systems lie in different philosophies. Capitalism traces back to Adam Smith, an 18th century economist often called the father of economics. In his book, The Wealth of Nations, Smith argued that self-interest and competition drive innovation and efficiency. He described the invisible hand, the idea that free markets naturally regulate themselves. Socialism emerged as a critique of capitalism's inequalities. Karl Marx, in his work The Communist Manifesto, published in 1848, argued that capitalism exploits workers and creates class struggles. He envisioned a system where wealth is shared and workers collectively own the means of production. These philosophies reflect the core debate. Should economies prioritize individual freedom or equality? Let's start with capitalism. Its key features include private property. Individuals and businesses own land, capital, and resources. Free markets. Prices and production are determined by supply and demand, not government intervention. Profit motive. Businesses operate to maximize profits, which fuels innovation and competition. Minimal government intervention. Policies like deregulation and free trade are hallmarks of capitalism. Examples: countries like the United States, Singapore, and Switzerland are known for their capitalist economies. These nations often experience high levels of innovation, wealth creation, and economic growth. Capitalism has its strengths. Innovation, for example, competition really drives technological advances and efficiency. Just think of companies like Tesla or Apple. Wealth creation is another big one. Capitalism has raised global GDP and lifted millions out of poverty. And then there's consumer choice. Free markets offer a wide variety of goods and services. But, it also has its weaknesses. Inequality is a major concern, with wealth concentrated in the hands of a few. The top 10% often hold the majority of global wealth. There's also exploitation. Workers in unregulated markets may face poor wages and conditions. And let's not forget about those boom and bust cycles. Capitalism is prone to financial crises, like the 2008 global recession. Now let's look at socialism. Its key features include public ownership, where resources and industries are owned collectively or by the government. There's also a planned economy, with central planning determining production and distribution, aiming to meet societal needs. Redistribution of wealth is important too. Taxes and policies are used to reduce income inequality. Social welfare is a priority, with universal health care, free education, and other social programs. For example, countries like Sweden and Denmark implement aspects of socialism in their welfare systems. While historical examples include the Soviet Union and Cuba. Socialism also has its strengths. Equality is a big one. It aims to reduce income and wealth disparities. Social safety nets like universal healthcare protect citizens from poverty. There's also a focus on community with resources distributed based on collective needs, not just profit. However, there are challenges. Inefficiency can be an issue, as central planning sometimes leads to resource mismanagement and a lack of innovation. Reduced incentives are another concern. Without profit motives, people and companies may lack motivation to excel. And government overreach is possible. Excessive state control can limit individual freedoms and even lead to authoritarianism, as seen in historical examples like the Soviet Union. In reality, most countries operate as mixed economies combining elements of both systems. The United States, for example, is primarily capitalist, but includes socialist programs like Social Security and Medicare. Scandinavian countries like Sweden and Norway balance capitalism with extensive social welfare policies, creating what's known as social democracies. China operates a hybrid system, combining socialist state control with market-driven policies, which has resulted in, rapid economic growth. 70% of global economies are classified as mixed systems. That's a key fact to keep in mind. So which system is better? Capitalists argue that free markets create wealth, drive innovation, and reward hard work. Socialists counter that unregulated capitalism leads to inequality and exploitation, while socialism promotes fairness and social welfare. The truth is, both systems have strengths and weaknesses. What works often depends on a country's history, culture, and resources. Ultimately, the battle between capitalism and socialism isn't about choosing one over the other. It's about finding a balance. Economies thrive when they combine the innovation of capitalism with the social protections of socialism. The question isn't which system is better, it's how we can learn from both to build a fairer, more prosperous world. Capitalism versus socialism. It's a debate that has shaped history and continues to influence our future. But what do you think? Which system do you believe works best and why? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration of economic systems, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more videos that make complex topics simple.